the first thing that I can think of, and it's not necessarily on the training side, okay, there's two things that really struck me. One was not using enough band tension. Like the obviously Louie kind of scales it for how strong someone is, but the band tension that they were using there and that Louie told me I should be using, I'm like, this is probably 3 times more than what I'm used to. I'm like, I got to go back to my gym and figure out how to like anchor stuff to the ground because things are going to come flying off to use that much tension. So that was one. And the other is like, obviously Westside has a reputation for just like crazy big equipped lifts and not as much on the raw side. But what I found, I'm way more of a gear whore, single ply IPF stuff than they were for multi-ply stuff. And I realized like the guys training there might have their own individual stuff, but I know Louie for sure. He's like not about being a gear whore. He's like, get as strong as you can, then you throw the gear on for the meet. So that kind of struck me. The accessory work, I guess, wasn't too much different than what I thought it was. They moved through it really fast and higher reps, more of like a conditioning aspect. It felt like, and then another thing that struck me too, like on the dynamic effort squat days, just how quickly people rotated through. Cause like I move real quick through my own training. But there it was like one guy goes, throw weight on, next man up. I was like struggling to get my suit on and stuff like, oh shit.
Yeah. So when you were squatting, was it a group of 3?
I honestly don't remember. Okay. I think it was more than that. I want to say it was probably 5 or so.
Okay. Yeah. Lou doesn't have having many more than 3 on a lift for a reason, just because what you said, but even though it's still going fast, that's like a conditioning aspect. And that's really interesting you said that, because I've a lot of people that have gone through there that you're putting up big numbers, nothing close to what you're putting up by no stretch of the imagination, but that's one of the first things they say. The training is so fast. And then like the auxiliaries are just faster and moderately higher rep. And just the density of that training is much, much higher. So this band tension, do you know how much band tension you were using before? Like knee-jerk reaction, like nah.
So I can probably give you a ballpark number on bench, because I do it on bench a lot more than squat or deadlift. Okay. Actually do it quite a bit on deadlift, but I'll say on bench for raw type movements on the top, it may have been like 100 to 120 and maybe like 40 on the bottom.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And actually probably same on deadlift, same poundages on deadlift for the bands.
Oh yeah. So that was there was a lot of band at Westside then. You saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have, when you squatted, do you remember if they were using the bow bar?
No, it was straight bar box squats that morning.
Straight bar box. So that must have had the blue on there, yeah? The big one.
There was multiple bands. I don't remember exactly what the arrangement was, but there's a lot of bands.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands. Yeah, but you get that stretch reflex, you came up, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, rock on. Okay. So you took that, and did you then take that immediately and apply it and kind of like fine tune it to what you needed?
I definitely started incorporating more band tension. Yeah. Okay. I mean, significantly more.
Yeah. And how'd you fine tune that for you when you got back to Wyoming, back to your gym? How are you fine tuning what you took away for you specifically?
So one thing that was tough for me to grasp at Westside, like, I don't know how much of this is because like my engineer mindset, but also like the IPF type training lifestyle, like we always have like the calibrated plates, like these appropriate bars and racks and all that. So just like slapping on rusty 45s and like hooking bands up just however you seem fit, like it didn't work with me. I'm like, this has to be like these band tensions have to be the same. They got to be set up the same week to week.
Yeah.
So I guess what I took back was like, I got one of those like luggage scales.
Yeah.
And I set up bands like all kinds of different ways with like pegs, all kinds of different movements, and like figured out, what's the difference between like one giant band versus like a small and a medium one. And just became more calculated with my band tension and why I was using it, and dialing it in a little bit more.
Okay.